G'day, ZiggyD here, and let's take a look at the new uniques in Path of Exile's patch 1.0.2. It's been about 2 days and all 4 of the new uniques have been found, and as you can see, the first one here is a new unique map, Olecs Sanctum, level 74 maze map. Now, I want to buy on Nemesis League, though I say that, I'm actually pretty terrified to run this map on my hardcore character. The info panel here doesn't really suggest much why we should be afraid, but the stories I've read and the small amount of videos I've seen on this map so far, it got me pretty scared, probably more so than Poor Joys, and Poor Joys was a pretty scary map. So let's look at the stats. 40 to 50% increased monster life, 30 to 40% increased monster damage, so that's pretty hefty, no Poor Joys, but still pretty hefty. Final boss drops higher level items. Now, it's been confirmed that these items are level 80. This is higher than the current highest mod tier in the game, so that means these are insanely valuable as crafting items. If you get good base items that are level 80, then they're very, very valuable as crafting items. And you got the potential to get every single different unique in the game off these bosses as well. So, a pretty valuable map, although sufficiently risky to benefit to kind of have that reward make sense. So let's look at the flavor text and I'll talk a bit about what we know about this map so far. They flew and leapt and clambered over, they crawled and swarmed and slithered under. Still its ancient secrets await unclaimed, and of this hidden temple only legends remain. And very foretelling of people that might go into this map in hardcore and might not come back out. So this is kind of what I've gathered from different stories. You start off in the middle of a giant X. At the end of each branch of this X has a different element. So we've got fire, ice, lightning, and then chaos in the other one. So and when you get to the end of each one of these, there's kind of a little mini boss. It's a giant totem that deals damage and does spells based on that elemental type. And then once you've killed all those, you go back to the center and there's a final boss fight in there that's apparently super hectic. And then that boss drops the increased item level items. So it sounds pretty scary based on these bosses, and especially the end boss fight sounds pretty terrifying. Hopefully I can get a hold of one of these guys for you soon, and we can run this map on Nemesis on my EK sign, and you guys will be able to see it, and hopefully not see me rip. Hopefully. Anyway, let's take a look at the next unique. I'm pretty excited for that one. I'm always excited when new unique maps are added to the game. So the next one we have here is Wings of Entropy Sundering Axe. So this is a two-handed axe that you dual wield. A very interesting mechanical sort of addition to the game here. This was revealed in a video prior to the patch, but we can look at kind of the stats and things like that, the ranges of it now. Each of the two-handed axes that you dual wield, which come in one, so you equip this and it fills up both of your hand slots, and you dual wield this two-handed axes. Each of them has this physical damage roll, 121, 248, and 147 to 304, so you can roll in either one of those mod ranges there. Now, adds 55 to 65 to 120, sorry, adds fire damage in the main hand and adds chaos damage in the offhand. So you can see that it's listed both here, but this one only applies to the main hand and this one only applies to the offhand, and counts as dual wielding. Now we also get 25% of block chance applied to spells. Since this is dual wielding, we get block chance, 10% additional chance to block while dual wielding, so we get a double whammy of block chance there. And it's got pretty hefty amount of damage there as well, so these are pretty powerful items. But you know, you can kind of see how these are powerful in terms of damage. They've got pretty high physical and elemental damage, and chaos, you know, isn't reflected and pierces most resist, like it isn't blocked by armor, and very few mobs have chaos resistance, so that's pretty powerful. And you know, it's got high amount of damage and you're dual wielding, all that jazz. But the real thing that really sets this thing apart is that because it's two-handed axe, and because it's dual wielding, it can benefit from two-handed axe nodes, it can benefit from two-handed nodes, it can benefit from axe nodes, it can benefit from dual wielding, so there's lots of new options there opening up for you. But most importantly, you get a 6-link as a dual wielding build. So this means you can use like a Bringer of Rain, have no chest piece, and get an extra 6-link in your weapon there. Or you could use a Comb's Heart with no links on your chest and still have a 6-link. So this opens up a lot of options to dual wielders, as well as if you're just wearing normal armor, you get 2 sets of 6 links, so you can have a main attack and a AoE attack, like a single target AoE attack, in 2 separate 6 links there. So pretty powerful. I'm not sure just the extent of the power now. Like, the damage can still be outclassed by really good rares and things like that, obviously, and really good single-handed rares, but the extra 6-link that you get from this, and the extra potential to play with different passive nodes is very, very interesting. Fire and Anarchy are the most reliable agents of change, and that sounds very appropriate for this item there. So, next up we have Belly of the Beast, full Wyrmscale. A few people were quick to jump saying that this was like the new Combs Heart or something like that, but this is a very, still pretty low level unique. I would say straight up classify this as pretty good entry level mapping gear. So this is really good leveling gear and really good to get into maps, but it's something you're going to replace eventually. But let's look at the actual stats. We get a fair amount of extra armor for a level 46 item. This has a very decent amount of armor. In fact, probably more armor than most of the end game 6 links I end up getting because I can't really afford a good one. But it also has 30 to 40% increased max life. Now this sounds really good, and it is pretty good. But the important thing to consider is that in order for increased maximum life to be worth anything, you have to have increased base life, increased base max life. So usually on your chest piece you get this, you get like 100 extra life, or you get 80 extra life on there, and that then scales by your passives. But this stat here is just like passives, it scales that, but because this chest armor doesn't actually have any base life on it, you're getting potentially less. You need to actually have a lot of base life on all of your other pieces of gear. So in order to really take full advantage of the 30 to 40% increased max life, which is a big amount, you actually have to have a life roll on your gloves, boots, helmet, and rings and amulets. Whatever you can, basically, you need to get as much life on those as well, or be a very high strength build so you get increased max life that way. So pretty powerful, but you need to be able to actually take advantage of it. Then next is 10 to 15 all elemental resistances. Obviously this can be outclassed by a tri-res rare. You know, if you have a rare chest that has 3 elemental resistances, you can have 30 to 40% resistances on that chest quite easily. So it is easily outclassed by that, but this is still an easy source of resistances. For someone at level 46, like, that's pretty good. And this is the really nice one, 50% increased flask life recovery rate. This is actually a very powerful stat there. Just you can do so much more with your flask. Like, flasks are such a good way to stay alive in hardcore, and this chest really supports that there. And of course we get extra gore, and the flavor text is pretty fun too. There is no safer place than the Belly of the Beast. Now the 2D art looks fantastic for this. I don't think the 3D art is in for it yet, but ZiggyD try and add these things in the future, so I'd be really keen to see the 3D art for this go into the game if it's not already, and this would make a fantastic transmog item for sure. I would probably buy some of the microtransactions to get this being my main item of armor here. Got cool spikes and plate mail and all that jazz. It's pretty sweet. So let's take a look at the final item here. We have Lifesprig Driftwood Wand. This is a level 1 wand here. You can find this from Olec at the start of the game. So, you know, it's a leveling item, it's a twink item, but it is a pretty fun and pretty cute one at that. +1 level to any spell gems in this item, so at you know, at level 1 to 10, even level 1 to 20, you're not really using any support gems, so you can just throw your Freezing Pulse or your Ice Nova or your Fireball or whatever you want in this actual wand, and you're getting +1 level, which is actually a big damage increase for spellcasters. Now we're getting 20 to 28% increased spell damage in addition to the base spell damage, which is really high at this level, and extra cast speed. On top of this, we get extra life and mana on a weapon. That's pretty insane. And then this is the final one here. This is really serious. Regenerate 6 to 8 life over 1 second for each spell you cast. Now I don't know whether yet this stacks or not, but even if it doesn't stack, that amount of life regen every second that you can cast 1 spell per second quite easily, is super powerful. From the smallest seeds to the tallest redwoods, life endures in raid class, and your life will endure if you find this weapon in a race. If you get this from Olec in a 1 hour race or something like that, you're going to do insanely well as a spellcaster. So this is really nice to see this added to the game, and I kind of want to add this to my chest just as a fun leveling item for any spellcasters I happen to make in the future. Really cool. I like to see these really cool unique items added, and very powerful stuff. It's going to be kind of it looks kind of like the new Silver Branch, if you guys remember back to racing when the old Silver Branch with +2 to bow gems was on it. It kind of seems like that for spellcasters, though maybe not quite that overpowered. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. That's it for now. I'm ZiggyD, and thanks for watching.